I have to grow. And like I said, the Clean Business University was the best avenue. Because I think if I were to try to do it on my own with hiring W-2 employees, how I know some people have done it, I probably would have been more stressed out and I wouldn't have liked it as much. But the model that you guys have is just so unique and so dynamic from what I've seen with the contractor piece alone. That just alleviated so much of the headache and red tape. So yeah, it's still a lot of work. It definitely still is being an entrepreneur and leveling up. It's a lot of work. But just understanding that aspect is that at the end of the day, now my business is no longer mine. Like it is what the clients, what my community, what the people want. That bigger picture has really helped me push and be okay with now growing.
All right, Correy. I'm gonna introduce Correy a little bit, but if you guys didn't know, my name is Anthony. Obviously, one of the founders of Cleaning Business University, which was founded by me and my wife. We started our cleaning business almost 6 years ago now, and our goal to start our cleaning business was to primarily pay off debt. We had $114,000 of debt, and we said we are going to start a cleaning business, which sounds absolutely nuts, but we needed something that was a low-cost startup, meaning we didn't have a bunch of money to put into to go more into debt. We needed something that we could start today. But then also we needed something that was long term. It wasn't just a hot topic. It wasn't just something that was just like, we're just going to try this and figure this out. We said we're going to go all in. And throughout that time of us going all in, we ended up paying off our debt. And now our cleaning business has grown to over 7 figures now. And now we do an average run rate of about 500 to about 600,000 a year. And during that time, we had people that were asking questions like, how are you guys doing this? I like to go to the back because you never know where people are tuning in from any part of our story. So the more we spoke about our cleaning business, the more we realized there was people who were looking for a way to pay off debt, looking for a way to travel more, looking for a way to save more. But then there were also people on the other side of that who was like, listen, I got a cleaning business. I'm currently cleaning. I'm looking to figure out how to grow and scale this thing. And Correy has been one of our Cleaning Business University students. He's been active, he's been involved, and he's one of those people who has a job, who also runs his cleaning business on a daily basis. And he's one of those people that's like, I can do both, I can manage both, and I can also help people do that. So without further ado, I'm going to drop Correy into the live stream, and we're just going to go talk about him, his story, and everything that he's doing. So Correy, what's going on?
Doing good, going good. My sound good? My sound coming
You sound good. You look good. Your lighting is good. Everything is good about you, man. So appreciate you being here. And before we dive into everything on where you are today, let's talk about where you were before you even started your cleaning business. What were you doing? What year too?
Man, well, before cleaning, I technically had my cleaning business on the books back in 2019. I have a 9 to 5. I'm an educator, so I've been working on college campuses for close to 15, a little bit over 15 years now. So I just started to jump back into the entrepreneurial space back in honestly 2016, 2017. Started to make my businesses legit in terms of an LLC in 2019.
Okay,
So
so
before then,
2019.
yeah. So before then was just interestingly enough, was scared to jump back into entrepreneurship. I've always had that hustler's mentality since I was younger. But I kind of fell off track with a bad business venture early on, coming out of high school, coming out of college, and that kind of took me out. So I was just kind of, I'm gonna be good, just being a regular person, just working a 9 to 5. I'll be humble about it and just keep my head down. And then I started to get that itch again back in 2016. And so it took me a couple of years to get started, but then 2019, I was like, yeah, it's time.
If you don't mind, if you can't share too much details, that's fine. But I'm curious on that bad business venture.
Oh yeah, no, it's good now because it's all water under the bridge. But I actually went through bankruptcy back in 2008, 2009 is when I had to finally officially file. So coming out of college, like I said, I've always been the type, like even when I was younger, I was the type to sell my candy from Halloween, sell my snacks on the bus. So I was always like, hey, let's get to the bag versus just I guess the reward piece of it of just, I was always like about saving money or making money. And I think that it definitely comes from my background, from my parents. My dad was always the type was like, if you come up with half, I'll come up with the other half if I wanted something. So that really instilled a very hard work ethic. It was like, if you wanted Jordans, you had to come up with half. If I wanted the new game system, you had to come up with half. So I was always grinding, doing different things to, get the things that I wanted. So transitioning, coming out of, that instilled a good work ethic in general. But then coming into out of college, I was like, okay, I thought I knew what I was doing. Let's jump into business. So I jumped into business with a family member, and we were doing a catering business. But I was more like the silent partner. But long story short, mixed in personal finances with it, which that's something you should never do when you're starting a business, mixing your personal finances in it. But since I was coming out of college, I had good credit and everything. So to me, it was no, never mind. And if you know anything about what happened in like 2009, what happened?
Yeah.
Yeah, we had no, that's when I filed. So maybe 2006, 7, we had the housing bubble that happened. So things just deteriorated really quick. Our catering company at the time had a charter school that was doing well, money was coming in, and then when that contract dried up, everything just like boom, boom, boom. The contract was falling through. The housing market bubbled, and it just was in over my head. So coming out of college, and I was like, end up being like over $500,000 in debt. Like when I looked at the books, when you file for bankruptcy, I mean, you have to put everything down, and it was over 500,000 when you included.
So what did you have for 500? You're a college student. What did you have for a catering business that had you in debt of 500,000? Unless you had like actual building and like.
I was naive, and I think that even leads me to now, even why I'm so impactful, even in our community, because after that whole ordeal, I like have my hands in everything. So I want to know how things work, how things operate. I was just signing my name, pretty much just blind, just trusting a family member, like, oh, they got it, we good. And just trusting them along the way, like, oh, sign this, let's do this, let's do that, and signing kind of my life away without knowing all the steps of what was going on. And so because of that, like I say, I just didn't know until it was too late. It was a house. It was honestly like a $300,000 house that was in our name, because part of the business was getting ran through the house. So it was like a $300,000 house in our name. In Ohio, that's a big house. That was like a 6-room, 4-bathroom, like mini mansion, like over a 3,000 square foot house. Like in Ohio, the Midwest, you're doing well with over a $300,000 home. It was like a big home. We purchased 2 new Mercedes. I was driving a brand new Mercedes at the time.
Okay, we get into it. Okay, I got you. So you had the house, and you started leveraging what people say now, like use your business debt to buy these liabilities to write it off, type of thing.
Yeah, lines of credit. I mean, for equipment, and then when it was all said and done, like I said, it was way over my head. Like we should have started very small. We shouldn't have done any of that to overextend ourselves. And when we couldn't, pay the bills, it all crashed. And it's very different, when you can't pay a water bill versus when you owe hundreds of thousands of dollars and the bill collector is calling. Like that's a different level of depression. That's a different level of stress. That's a different level of anxiety that I was dealing with in my early 20s, which was crazy. So I pretty much had no choice. I was actually transitioning to get married. And I was like, I just don't want this over my head any longer of trying to pay off these bills. So right as I got married, like a year after I got married, of course, my wife wasn't on anything. I was like, I'm gonna file. It's gonna be better in the long run to go ahead and file. So I filed that bankruptcy a year after I got married, like in 28, 29. And then from there, like I said, just take me out the game of wanting to do anything with entrepreneurship, anything with being a business owner. I just was like, I'm good. I'm just going to be a good employee and keep my head down, because that experience really just kind of burned me and traumatized me at the same time.
Well, it seems like you learned. You mentioned a few gems, and I don't want to jump into the cleaning business stuff before we start talking. While we're talking about this stuff, because like you mentioned a few gems. You mentioned you got burned, but you said now going forward, I want to be hands-on in my business. I'm not just going to sign everything off to you. And I think, that is very important as a business owner, no matter, not even just anybody, just make sure you know what you're doing before you jump into it. And even if you don't know what you're doing, at least try to learn as much as you can while you're in whatever you're doing. So that was one
Exactly.
gem you mentioned. And then you
Yeah,
also mentioned like understanding, all right, going forward, I'm not going to just jump to that 10th level. I'm okay with starting slow, starting small and working my way up. You had the
exactly.
$500,000 crib, you had the G Wagons and the Mercedes Benzes, and he was like, I'd rather just start off slow going forward. So those are two of those major gems I took away just from that part right there.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. And when I started getting the itch again to jump into entrepreneurship, that's where I was at. So I was okay with having it as a side hustle without putting a lot of money into it, especially with my cleaning business. I have the cleaning business, I have the speaking business, I have the Turo business. So all of those kind of have grown over the years. But even with the cleaning business, it just started off as a side hustle, like what I could actually manage without leveraging too much. And now, like I said, that's just something I'm always looking at. I'm thinking about the books. I'm looking at the books to make sure I'm not overextending myself in any area. Because again, just having a wife and family now, and my kids are a lot older, so it's like, no, I'm never going to be put back in that predicament of not knowing what I'm in control of, and having someone else kind of have that destiny to be able to say, oh, when it's all said and done, you're still ultimately responsible for it. So, yeah.
Yeah, let's even transition into that part of it. So you mentioned like the cleaning business. So 2008, 2009, you're like, all right, let me start working through this bankruptcy. What made you say, all right, I'm going to jump into starting this cleaning business now? What happened between that time and before starting a cleaning business? And I'm gonna get
Yeah,
my question too.
just so man, again, just working, keeping my head down, doing little side hustles here or there, whether it was I'm a sneaker fanatic, so selling some sneakers, or um excuse me, just doing whatever, like sometimes just making a little side money. But it was, I think, 2016, um when I moved down south, where I
Uh,
was like, okay, what else like can I do that's like would be fun, that would kind of push me? And this was right before the pandemic. My mom is big on YouTube. She was watching a lot of influencers even back then, of people doing a whole bunch of different random stuff. And my mom had suggested to me like 2016, 2017, like you should start a YouTube channel because you do so much just at home, like with your family. I'm watching all these other people and I don't see a lot of guys. So my mom was like, you should start a YouTube channel. I totally blew her off, like literally for like 2 years. Like, Mom, I'm not starting no YouTube channel. Like I'm too busy. I'm being a dad. I'm working. And then like right before the pandemic, to be perfectly honest, I just kind of needed something for me. Like I just needed something to do. I was like, Mom has told me about doing a YouTube channel. Maybe I should do one.
mm-hmm.
So that's where the YouTube channel started. I was like, okay, started doing my little research, watching other YouTube videos about starting a channel. And the biggest thing people said was like, just start. You're not going to be perfect. It's going to be probably messy. You'll get better. Just start. So I started that YouTube channel. And within the first year of having the YouTube channel up and running, I was able to get monetized to YouTube, which means, you start collecting a check from YouTube for your ads. And I was getting small little endorsement deals, which was kind of cool, $100 here, $200 there. And so it was really cool to me, just the whole social media idea. And I had no idea I was going to get monetized in a year. When I first started out doing it, I was like, okay, I gave myself 2 years. Because if you know anything about the YouTube platform, you have to have like 1,000 subscribers, over 4,000 watch time hours. And I was like, that's just crazy. So I was like, let me give myself 2 years to do it. I'll eventually make it as a goal. Because if I do something, I'm going to put my heart and soul into it. So I gave myself 2 years and got monetized within a year. After that first year, I was like, what the heck else am I going to do? Because I already like crushed that first year goal. And that was just the channel, Real Men Get It Done, the YouTube channel. It was fatherhood, family, lifestyle, showing everything from me doing my kids' hair to cleaning to cooking to travel, just a little bit of everything. And once I got monetized, I was like, it's a new goal. So from that goal, the merch line started. It was like, okay, let's do something else. Let's do the merch line to have it as, a push to encourage dads and just to be a motivational factor. And then shortly after that, that's when the cleaning business came to fruition, because I already been doing cleaning on my channel, my own home, obviously showing tips and tricks. And I saw just a simple Instagram of a girl that I still follow, and y'all actually had her on the show before, Michelle Welch. I saw one that I was following
Shout
her
out to
already.
Michelle. She's amazing. I love Michelle. I
Yeah,
was talking to
yeah,
her like recently too.
yeah, she's dope. Out of I think Orlando, Florida area, and
Yep.
I was following her, and she just had like a quick little Instagram reel, and was like, start a cleaning business with like $20 or something like that, and she just showed a clip of her cleaning, and was like, you can get this stuff from the dollar store, and show herself cleaning, and show something like her getting like $400 or $500 for like a deep clean. And I was like, I'm already cleaning my home. I said, that's not a big stretch of a transition. I was like, I could do that. And so just from there, I started my cleaning business just off a referral. I had a neighbor that we were close with. They were moving. I was like, can I clean y'all home? And they was like, yeah, we're going to need it cleaned anyway. So they let me be their test dummy to kind of clean their home. I did initial deep clean, kind of kept the cleaning up before they sold it, and even cleaned it after they sold it. So that was like one of my first big projects where I was able to like take before and after pictures, start to like make my own Facebook page, get a little bit of buzz. And I just started rocking and rolling from there, doing cleanings as my schedule allowed. And that was pretty much moving cleanings, because when you're moving, people are like, I'm out the house already. That flexibility to have it during the evenings, because I still have a 9 to 5. So my first year and a half, I was just doing pretty much moving cleans, because that allowed me to have maximum flexibility with my business. And I was earning good income, anywhere from $500 to $700 for a moving deep clean. And I was like, this is great money. So that's kind of
So
where I started.
so let's pause right there. So that you said I just started a cleaning business, and you like I'm gonna just ask my neighbors if I could clean their homes. That takes number one. That's free. People always talk about like how can I get all these clients? You're like I'm getting clients for free just by using word of mouth and referrals. So did you
Yeah,
find that to be hard to do so? You just like I'm already doing it. I'm out here. Let me just get some people on my books.
yeah. Like, no, to me, it honestly wasn't hard, because for my neighborhood, and it was different moving down here. So I encourage you,
And
wherever
where are
you're
you
at.
located again?
I'm in Louisiana. I'm in the
You're in
Shreveport
Louisiana.
area of Louisiana. And when we moved down here back in 2016, like HOAs, Facebook groups were big down here. And that wasn't big up north. I'm an Ohio boy from the Midwest. And so moving down here, seeing that people really utilize their Facebook pages of their neighborhoods, it made it really easy. Once I did a good job, my neighbor happened to, obviously use our Facebook page and shouted me out. And she was also a military a spouse. So we have a big military base here. So she shouted out on the military base, their Facebook group as well. So that was just like free leads, just giving me kind of information, and we would go on base and clean, and then clean in our neighborhood. So just that alone, like everything I was doing was very low maintenance, very low cost. Only thing I had was a Facebook page, not a website, no nothing. Like I wasn't. It just was. I was like, okay, the thing I'm gonna do is get an LLC to make sure it's legit. And I just had a Facebook page. That was it. All of my business for my first year and a half was through Facebook, like referrals. Like that was it. I got a free Google number so people wouldn't call my cell phone, and just worked everything through Google. Like I would do a Facebook ad and just like boost a post, like post on Facebook on my business Facebook page, and boost a post for $10 here, $5 there, $15 here, and just boost it out to the area, and then just start getting buzz. And the biggest thing I always really pushed at was customer service. So anytime I cleaned, to give me some validity, I would always tell folks, please leave me a review on my Facebook page. So people start seeing the reviews on my Facebook page, and I got those up to like 20 plus. So people start seeing like, okay, people are recommending him and saying that, him and his team is doing a good work. And my team was really just me and my family. I solicited my kids, because as a business owner, you can write your kids off. So I was like, why not? I taught my kids how to clean. My two daughters clean with me. They're now 17 and 13. You
So
know, three
are
years ago,
you
they were
like
way younger than that. Go
so
ahead.
you're paying them as like employees or contractors, like they're getting
Mhm.
like salaries and stuff?
Yep, I was already doing that before I even jumped into the cleaning business community. So I was already like, yep, I'm gonna have my kids, because I only had myself. So I was like, I
Hmm.
need to use the people that are around me. My daughters, they always want to have money. I tried to use my son. He is a little bit more lazy. Like, nah, he wasn't really with the cleaning. Like he'll still do carpets if we're like going to do some carpet extracting now. But that's the level of his cleaning. Like he's not the cleanest teenager as well. But my daughters are pretty legit. So even not like now, my 17-year-old and my 13-year-old, they have a gym that they do by themselves. It's like a 2,000 square foot small gym. And I just go and sit on my laptop, and I'm doing work but they clean the gym all by themselves.
Wait,
Like,
wait,
that's
wait,
how
wait,
much
wait, wait, wait.
that's how
We
much I
gotta
trained them up.
we gotta pause there. Number one, your dad is in the chat, I believe. Dwayne, is that his name?
Yeah, my dad, he's on staff. Yep.
Well, he's actually in the chat right now. His name is Dwayne.
Okay, yep, that's him.
Shout out to Dwayne. Shout out to your dad, yo. This is generation. We're having a generational conversation right now, and this is super dope. And I do not want us to skip over this. If you guys are watching this video on YouTube, please give this a like, a thumbs up, whatever YouTube needs us to do to get this conversation out there, because you got a black dad with his black dad, and he's also teaching his kids about building wealth by actually doing the work. Like, I don't know when you started like working, but I started working at like around probably like age 12. And it was just me working for like a random grocery store. If I had the opportunity to work for my family, that would be life-changing information right there. So you got your kids working for you, currently making money. They're not in the streets. They're not doing things they shouldn't be doing. You can watch over them. They can take their money, go do whatever they want to do with it. This is life-changing information right here. You're just passing out to your family. So, and mom says hello too from Dwayne. So shout out to the mom and dad for raising an amazing son, and then also grandkids as well.
And I get it from them. Like, my mom came up with the name. Real Men Get It Done. She came up with the name. So I shout out to her, what pushed me to even start the YouTube channel, which evolved into the businesses. And then from them, like, my mom was a manager years ago, doing cleaning services. So she taught me how to clean. My parents taught me how. One thing my mom always said when I was growing up, she's like, I'm not going to raise no pissy tail boy. So my mom.
That's definitely some Southern stuff right there.
My mom would teach me and make me clean, like, inside the house and everything. And I actually enjoyed it. Like, I enjoyed cleaning. And my dad would teach me stuff outside the house, like, maintaining the yard, working on cars, growing up and stuff. So I had the best of both worlds. So unlike sometimes when people say, like, don't use your family, I've totally found the opposite. My family has been the biggest supporters, and I wouldn't be, have grown as much as I have today without them pushing me, my parents, with my kids. So yeah, I got it from my dad early on. And when he pushed me to be like, if you want something, you got to come up with half. So, like, just that mentality that I took from then to now really has just helped me grow into the business. I'm trying to do the same thing even with my kids, of teaching them, like, the importance of hard work. Like, yes, we're blessed. You have two parents that actually work. Yes, we can get you things, but you need to be able to earn them themselves. And I love my youngest. My youngest, she has such a spirit like me. Like, she's all about the money. She saves her money. My two older teenagers, they spend all of their money. But my youngest, she saves like crazy. And then when she saves and gets her money up, she likes to spend. And then she'll say, okay, I can't spend no more. I got to save. But my youngest bank account is bigger than even the oldest two. So you probably can't even see this. It may not be clear on there, but my youngest, she's 13, and this is where her bank account is at. And it would be bigger. It would be bigger if she didn't buy. She just went on a shoe shopping spree. She bought like 3 pairs of Jordans. Like,
how old is she?
Like 13.
13 with $930 in the bank account?
Yeah, and been cleaning, and she's been cleaning for the past 2 years. So I taught her, like I said, she was like 10, 11 when she started. But she really takes after me, where she likes to save her money. But she would probably have close to 2,000 now. But she's like, I'm good with keeping it around 1,000, because she'll get that shopping itch, and then she's like, I want to go buy some Jordans, some clothes, and then she'll just go like spaz out. Like,
what are the biggest gems you teach your kids about money and how to manage money?
Well, they all have, even the oldest ones, they have green light savings accounts. So I love those cards. If you've never heard of green light, it allows you to monitor their spending. It allows you to actually green light their spending. So they don't have access to all their funds. You have to release it to your kids. So even in that, just teaching them, like, you save, you don't spend everything. Like, even my youngest, my older ones, like, they all have a threshold where they have to keep at. So it's like, no, you may have that in your account, but I'm not going to let you go behind it. So that's trying to teach them to be responsible, to budget a little bit. Like, even like my son, he loves getting candy bars and snacks out the vending machine. But I'm like, once you hit your threshold for the week, like, and we pay for their lunch, but he likes to go above and beyond. But even with all that, the shopping, my oldest, the makeup and all that stuff, it's like, you have a threshold, so you're not going to go under that threshold. So the importance of saving, the importance of investing, And again, just the hard work of a dollar of them just even understanding that yes, you working with dad is going to get you. And my oldest, she still wants a job. I'm going to let her still get a job, and she'll still be a contractor part time. But I'm just trying to tell her, like, you're going to get more money working with dad than you are at working at, she wants to work at a little like a coffee spot or whatnot. I'm like, they may pay you $10 an hour. They may. Like for the gym that she cleans, they're there 2 hours and she gets paid $40. So I'm like, your average is like $20 an hour working with dad versus going and working 6 hours, at a cafe to hopefully get $7 or $8. You know what I'm saying? So even that piece of letting them see like the difference from working for yourself versus working for somebody else. And I still wanted to have that experience. She's getting ready to go off to college. I'm not going to be right by her side. She needs to work for somebody else and see how that grind is. But she has the tools to be like, okay, when I go to college and this ain't working out, I can maybe start my own cleaning business and be cleaning other people's dorms rooms or do a couple houses where I'm good to go. So those are the type of things, just showing them that, you can make money by the work of your own hand versus working for somebody else. Like, I think those are the biggest gems that I'm teaching all the kids.
No, that's those are amazing gems. And I was just thinking about the college part of it. If I would have, my dorm was pretty good, but when I moved into the frat house we had six guys and it was pretty decent. But if we would have had a cleaning service come every other week before the parties that we had or after the parties, that would have been clutch right there. So you're teaching your kids not only just how to manage money, but also how to make money with the family. But then when they go out and make it on their own, they may realize it's not as sweet as we thought it was, working with somebody that we don't know. Those are just some major gems that you just dropped on everyone listening. And Michelle I see her join the Instagram live. Shout out to Michelle. We gave you your flowers. She's super amazing. And so as we transition into just more of where you are today with your cleaning business, let's kind of talk about that. So obviously you're one of our, superstars in the community, one of our superstar students, only because it's not just conversations about cleaning, it's conversation about life, it's conversation about business, fatherhood, just everything all around. So what drew you to like Cleaning Business University, and where are you at in your business now, and where are you looking to go forward the next couple, I'd probably say this year?
Yeah, well, what drew me to the university, as I told you, again, you said Michelle was here, so shout out to you because I mentioned you in terms of that's why I started my cleaning business, just watching one of her reels. Fast forward, maybe like I said, a year and a half after already having my cleaning business, and of course, I like I told you some of the things I dealt with before with the bankruptcy. I honestly was scared to level up. I know I could, like people were mentioning to me. I even told my parents, like, man, I need to hire some people, but I'm kind of scared of leveling up. And I had saw y'all on Instagram as well, talking about, your story and all what y'all have done. And so I started just following y'all, tuning into the YouTubes, tuning into the Instagram lives. And I probably followed y'all for another 8-9 months easy. Like, I didn't just jump at it. I was like, let me see what they're talking about. Let me see how consistent they are. Because everybody's selling stuff. You think about coming out of the pandemic, and even right in the pandemic, it left an opportunity for so many people to start businesses, to do things, and everybody's selling everything on Instagram and Facebook. Like, everybody's just selling stuff. So you really had to like vet people out to make sure that they were who they were, they say they were, because you could easily just throw your money away. And I wasn't about throwing no money away. So I had it on the back burner. And one of my other business mentors that was like helping me with the Instagram and like kind of polishing up that a little bit, told me way back when, he was like, you need to focus on your cleaning business. He was like, out of everything you told me that you're doing, like your cleaning business is probably the best thing that you probably can do to push you into that area of wealth. And I listened, but I was like, yeah, I still a little bit apprehensive. Like, I really didn't want to put myself out there to level up, as I told you, because I really didn't want to grow with that, being scared from the bankruptcy piece. But it just came a point in time when I was like, I'm really ready to leave my 9 to 5. And I know I'm like, my wife was just talking to me. She was like, well, as the kids are going to get out of the house, you probably got like a 5-year window. Like, that's what she came up with, like a 5-year window to, eventually be done possibly with your 9 to 5. All the kids are out of the house and you could probably go into full-time entrepreneurship. So that really gave me the pieces of the puzzle to be like, all right, I need to focus on this cleaning business and really get it to where it needs to be, so I can even prove to her that we'll be good without having the 9 to 5, as well. Because it's just
Shout
so
outs to the
frustrating.
wives too.
Yeah. Because without my wife, I would have quit. I didn't quit my job like 100 times without her. So she always brings me down back to earth. Because I'm like, man, I don't need this. Like, I can make some money. Like, I got the hustle, I got the grind. I can make some money. But she's like, no, like, you still need insurance. We still, just the practical things sometimes that you don't think about jumping into entrepreneurship, especially when you have kids. All my kids play sports, they're active. And some of those things I just kind of got to ride out, as being the sole provider. And my wife works too, but I don't want to give her no undue hardship by saying I'm quitting my job and then just like some months it be the ebb and flow, and then wanting her to just take it all over. So yeah, she's talked me over the ledge several times. So to answer your question, so that was the piece, like the catapult, like the catalyst. It's been maybe 8 or 9 months now, give or take, where I was like, I have to level up to get the business to where it needs to be. And I loved the whole model of the cleaning business in terms of the contractor piece, because that was a part I was very scared about, of having employees, thinking about the W-2, thinking about the taxes, just all those things you think about like that stress you out as a business owner. Like, man, I don't want to have to be doing all of that. But that gave me some relief knowing about the contractors and not having to worry about all the taxes. And I just liked the model. So I was like, let me jump into it. And I loved it. So
And
from there, yeah, go ahead.
no, I was gonna say. So you mentioned like you were scared to level up. So what does leveling it up look like to Corey and your cleaning business? What does that look like from going from the university to like what does leveling up look like for you?
Um, Man, leveling up was ultimately being able to have contractors, a virtual assistant, and really being as hands off as I could be. The biggest thing I wanted was just getting out of the field. That was like the
Mhm.
number one priority. Again, I was cleaning with every clean we had. I would have my hands in it as being, the owner. And even with my family's help, I was at every clean. And it was my goal to get out of cleaning from the day to day. And even 8 months later, I'm like 90% out of the day to day. Like, I almost cringe now when I'm almost having to be left with cleaning, because now I'm so comfortable with being behind the laptop, orchestrating everything, even working with my VA. Like, there's times where we may have missed something and it's just like, oh, I could suck it up and go to the job, but no, we're just going to reschedule you. Or we may just have to cancel you, because I'm more productive being able to kind of, be the puppeteer and making sure all of my contractors are good, making sure my virtual assistant is good, making sure I can do marketing and promo. Like, I'm better doing that versus, spending the time out in the field. So that's how I look at it. Like, I just rather
And
be out of the field.
why do you feel like, because we hear this all the time too, and I want to talk to the people who not even just cleaning business owners, just entrepreneurs. We always feel like no one could do it as good as us. So we hold on to so much,
Yep.
and it limits our ability to scale and grow, because if we have to go out and do every single job or take every single phone call, we can't market, we can't expand, we can't grow. So why do you
Yep.
feel like as entrepreneurs we feel like we're the only ones that could do it?
I think it
Or
goes
maybe
back
just
to
yourself.
yeah, I think it goes back to your vision and mission, because it's your baby. And the one thing I had to learn, even going back to YouTube, I think, which eventually helped push me to like let it go on the cleaning side. And it's still hard. I'm not gonna lie. Like, even with having a VA now and having her trust to do some of the processes, like even with the customer service piece, I know like I just have a swag, a little bit more of a finesse when I'm talking to the customers, even if it's via, a text message or an email,
Mhm.
that I can like alleviate their stress, make them feel more comfortable, make them want to be able to book with us. But I have to trust the VA to kind of understand who I am and understand like my lingo, and be that same, have that same flavor. Like, it won't be exactly like mine, no, but give her the flexibility to still able to connect with the customers, massage those relationships, and book them. But it's hard, and my VA doesn't work, 24/7. So sometimes on the weekends, I'll jump on and still finesse the clients and customers, and I still enjoy that. But through the week, I still got to let her do her thing and be okay with trusting her with that. But I'll go back to YouTube. When I was with the YouTube channel, the first thing I did, even with the Real Men Get It Done, was what I wanted to do. It was my channel, it was my baby. So when I had created a little bit of that level of success by being monetized, I was like, I got it. Like, this, I have to keep
Mhm.
in control with it. I ended up getting a YouTube coach because I wanted to grow. And my YouTube coach had to break me and really give me some really tough and real game, like a big sister. And she was like, your channel is no longer yours. And that was a hard pill to swallow. She said, like, once you start doing your videos and looking at your analytics, your insights, you have to really cater your channel to what the people want, or you're not going to grow further. So that's when, even with the Real Men Get It Done, I was cooking, I was cleaning, I was doing my kids' hair. But when it came down to it, what the fellas really loved was my beard care videos. They loved when I did the beard care, the bald hair care videos. That's when like views and things shot through the roof. And that's what my YouTube coach taught me. She was like, you know, and I think that's where we get twisted being business owners and entrepreneurs and doing the side hustles. It's our baby, and we aren't taught or aren't told that, yes, it starts off at your baby, but at the end of the day, your client, your customer is the most important thing. So they'll be the ones to dictate ultimately how you move in that business. And so that's what I had to learn for the YouTube channel. I had to give the people what they wanted to make sure I kept getting monetized and kept getting checks from YouTube. The guys wanted the beard care, the hair care. Yeah, I could still do a cleaning video here and there, a video about my kids' hair, but that wasn't going to be my bread and butter. And so I think that also pushed me to the cleaning business to be like, yeah, I could keep this as a small operation, but if I really want to jump in and make sure that I level up, I have to grow. And like I said, the Cleaning Business University was the best avenue, because I think if I were to try to do it on my own with hiring W-2 employees, how I know some people have done it, I probably would have been more stressed out and I wouldn't have liked it as much. But the model that you guys have is just so unique and so dynamic from what I've seen. With the contractor piece alone, that just alleviated so much of the headache and red tape. So yeah, it's still a lot of work. It definitely still is being an entrepreneur and, you know, leveling up. It's a lot of work. But just understanding that aspect is that at the end of the day, now my business is no longer mine. Like, it is what the clients, what my community, what the people want. That bigger picture has really helped me push and be okay with now growing.
That's yeah. That's you mentioned just allowing your baby to go out and experience the world. Like that was your YouTube channel. You're like, I can't. This is no longer for me. When your kids, when our daughter Alani started to walk, it's like you see her already. She's out there experiencing the world, and she's out there making friends, and that's what your business eventually turns into. You're like, all right, my business has to walk. My business has to run. Eventually, has to travel on its own. Has to do its own thing, and I have to be there to catch it when it makes mistakes, when it falls, if there's issues. But if you're not gonna be able to let your kid grow if you coddle them for their entire lives, your kids wouldn't be out here doing amazing things, working for people, starting their own businesses if you didn't allow them that freedom and flexibility to learn with you. So those are major gems right there. So as you go into the next phase of your business, it seems like you're talking a lot about structure, going from you just doing everything yourself. You mentioned having a VA now. What structures are you putting in place in your business that you didn't have before?
I mean, we're developing SOPs, our operating procedures for everything. So
That's
from
good.
how we market to how we hire, even the booking. So everything that I've done for my VA, it was a lot of hands-on for her to kind of see it, using technology. So creating videos of like, I'm gonna do a quick 5-minute training video and just be on my Mac and just talk her through like my thought process of booking clients or following up with them, and then giving it to her to say, okay, now this is my perfect scenario, but you're going to be in the field, things are going to come up, you still have me as a backup, but navigate through it. It's okay to make mistakes, and that's the biggest thing with
Mm,
the VA. And one of the things I read on in terms of hiring a VA, it was like sometimes people want to hire a VA to do the stuff you don't want to do, but you still have to be able to show them the stuff that you are doing well, because that's going to set them up for success. So I didn't want to have her just create something random to be like, oh, ain't nothing that I'm doing. Like, go out and find me 100 realtors that we can grow business with. I was like, no, she needs to really know the back end of what I do, my thought process, how I talk, how I speak, so that she can understand the business to be able to help me to grow. So again, we've done all of that in the past, and I've only had her for a little over a month, going on to 2 months, but we've done all of that. And like I said, I love that we now have technology, because it's nothing for me to create a, a slew of training videos and just talk her through some of my process, because everything I've been doing, I necessarily haven't written it down. It's just kind of by trial and error. I'm not as good as that. That's why I needed somebody to hold me accountable and put things down to kind of paper. I just know like how I do things. So I'm like, I want to tell you how I do things so that you can help me put them down on paper so that if I hire another VA, they'll have the game and they'll be able to move forward quickly. Or if you should ever have to leave, then I have my blueprint already there to be able to pass on to someone else.
No, that's exactly what you should be doing with someone that you bring into your business. And as you talk about your business and you talk about bringing the VA on, I know you're in the middle of expanding, or like, are you where are you with the expansion period of your cleaning business?
Yeah, so we're operating in the Shreveport area. When we hit 2023, we expanded to Baton Rouge, which is about 3.5, 4 hours away. That's the second largest city in Louisiana. And before we hit 2024, we're definitely going to be in New Orleans. So we'll be in the top three cities in the state of Louisiana with the largest markets to really grow our business. Because I want to scale, and I'm not playing. Like I want to scale like yesterday. So the Shreveport area that we have is growing really well. We're doing everything from small office to standard to deep to moving. We're doing a little bit of everything. Still growing up the Baton Rouge campus, Baton Rouge area. So pretty much there, mainly focusing on moving cleans. We do have like one or two standard kind of cleans that we have, but looking to grow that team. So I didn't want to take on too much. I tried to do everything when we first started, and the team is a little bit smaller down there because we just started. So I was like, nope, let me scale back and really just focus on doing our moving cleans. But some of those moving cleans have been awesome. They're like, can we keep you on? So I'm like, of course, we're going to keep you on. So a couple of those moving cleans that we've done, we've kept on as clients. And then it'll be the same blueprint for when we go to New Orleans. It will be jumping down there to market, find the folks that we can hire and start building that team there. People already want us to come to New Orleans because Baton Rouge is only like 45 minutes from New Orleans, but it's still just a huge difference. We're like, nope, we're not there yet. Don't want to take on too much too soon. But again, putting the teams in place so that, as I said, by the end of the year, before we hit 2024, we will be in the three biggest, largest markets in my state.
What does the process look like for expanding into a new market for you? Like, what's the obviously like? All right, we're going to go to the biggest area that's less local to us, but what does that look like from a operational standpoint? Are you traveling there back and forth? Give the people the rundown on what that looks like.
Luckily, I haven't had to. I mean, a couple times a year, I'm in all those cities anyway, but I'm not having to like be so crazy where it's so much back and forth. Yet, and I don't know what it's going to be like when I expand to New Orleans. I may have to do a little bit, but that's when again you have to really build up a team and trust the people that you have moving and shaking down there. So my team here, even of how I hire contractors, it was a lot of hands-on and seeing them in person and making sure that I could test clean them and everything and do all that. That's not as easy when you expand to a different city. So I really had to have the trust factor of like I did my due diligence of vetting the contractor, looking at their references, looking at their the jobs they've done before, and saying, okay, this is a solid person that's going to clean, and pretty much leave them to let their first clean be that test clean. And the conversation that we have is like, we're going to know if this relationship with you being a contractor with us is going to work out based on what the client says. If the client is like, great, they're doing a good job, we love them, then that's going to dictate that we can still do business. If the client is like, oh, it's horrible, they did a horrible job, they missed a whole bunch of stuff, then that's going to dictate, yeah, I'm going to give you one more try, but after that, we're probably not going to be able to do business with each other. So even then, expanding, I really had to let things go as well because they weren't in my backyard. I couldn't like follow up on everything they were doing. If I'm
Yeah.
here and they're in my backyard and I'm sending somebody out to a test clean, I could actually go and show up, or I could have them meet with one of my lead cleaners and have them actually test clean with the lead clean that I have here in my backyard. Can't do that when they're 4 hours away. So a lot of more trust I had to develop, and that's why that team is growing a lot slower. Because I was able to connect with two awesome ladies. One has her own business and she has her own cleaners already, so she's doing the majority of the job. And then one other solo cleaner who had her own business, and those are the two best ones that I'm working with. So growing the team slowly to make sure I can vet them, make sure that they're going to actually do good work, and be reliable for before I keep on growing the team and then adding on different services down there.
And how are you finding them? Because I know you're a very meticulous guy. So how'd you find those people in the next location?
Um, those ones were found through housekeeper.com. That's a big one I'm always using and telling people about.
You always
I
talk
love
about that in the community. People don't believe it.
I love that platform.
Housekeeper.com.
Yeah, I love that platform because obviously, if they're on there, they're cleaners already. But again, it is a hustle. It's a grind. Um, as you mentioned, even in the course, you can go through 100 people and you may hire one or two. I'm going through that right now. I want one or two more people for both locations. We've gone through easily 100 applicants. We have one person who's in our area right now whose background check is going through. I had a good conversation with them on Thursday. I pressed them and I was like, if you don't start your application stuff by Tuesday, we're going to keep things moving. They started their application process and started their background check. So we're in the process. Hopefully it'll work out and we'll see. But we've easily been on through hundreds of applicants. I mean, Indeed, housekeeper.com, jumping in Craigslist back channels. Haven't looked at YouTube, Facebook, but that's probably Facebook Marketplace is probably another place that I'll probably start looking at. Yeah, it's just being hungry. Word of mouth, telling the current cleaners that I have, do you have other people that you know that you think could be a good fit? So it's just hitting the pavement, just trying to connect. Anywhere you're seeing a cleaner saying, can we partner with each other, to expand operations? Sometimes people are like, yep. Sometimes you just get the cold shoulder, or sometimes people are just like a flat out no, like they don't want a partner, and you just have to keep at it.
No, that's a major one when it comes to hiring. We say all the time because somebody had asked in the chat and you answered that question 100% thoroughly. We you go through 100 applicants. I literally showed you guys the numbers in the community. I was like, here's the numbers from my operation manager. We went through 200 applicants. We went through 100 applicants. Here is each step of the process. Here is each outline, each layout. And out of that 100 people, we hired one, maybe two. So we showed you guys those direct numbers. And so as you said, 2024, you're looking to expand in at least your third major city. And as we wrap up, I want to, if you guys got any questions, drop them in the chat too. Hopefully Corey got a few minutes to answer some questions. But as we wrap up, we mentioned expansion for your cleaning business to the third location. What does that mean for your personal brand as well? Are you looking more towards a personal brand, letting the cleaning business do its thing? Like, where are you looking forward to in the rest of the year?
The current VA that I have, I honestly want to train her on the cleaning business and then keep her to actually focus on the full brand of Real Men Get It Done.
Okay.
So that's growing the merch line, the cleaning business, the YouTube channel, even my public speaking channel. That one is a little bit different because I'm an educator at heart. But I've also been thinking, just because of how I just pour into people with the brand, I may end up needing to add that as like the public speaking with things around the brand, and at creator conferences, and everything dealing with content creation. Like I may end up doing the brand and taking it to that level as well. Because currently my speaking business is for education side. Like I've been in education and doing leadership and mentoring and all that stuff. So that's kind of where my educational business is right now. But I may wrap that and keep it as the brand. So again, to me, the sky's the limit. If I would have to say someone that I think I would love to emulate is like a Steve Harvey, who, if you look at his website, he has obviously the media. I mean, he has the clothing brand. He has where he speaks and hosts. Like that's where I see myself like developing into in terms of like the mogul status of just having this brand be, a big umbrella that has many different pieces of that umbrella flowing.
No, that's dope, man. I'm actually going to be in, I don't know how far are you from Houston. I'm actually going to be in Houston on Thursday, going to this conference ran by Social Proof and Melanin Money, two of the biggest brands for Black people around money and entrepreneurship and entertainment. So if anyone's in Houston, come check that out. It's called Proof and Profits.
And man, I would have loved to. I know I can't make it, but I would have loved to. Houston is about 4 hours. We're always in Houston and Dallas because we got family in both locations. So those are two spots where we're at. So yeah, that's awesome.
So there's a question in the comments if you got a couple moments. So
Yeah, I
what
got
was
time.
most responsible for your mental shift back into entrepreneurship after being essentially traumatized from your experience?
Going slow.
Going slow.
So as I said, not taking on more than what I could chew. So I honestly started off with reselling kicks on eBay because again, I'm a sneakerhead. As I mentioned, turning my 13-year-old, she's starting to be a sneakerhead and buying shoes. So I would be the one at the Nike factory, the Nike outlets, grabbing sneaks and reselling them online. And that was my little bit of buzz, just getting back into doing a little bit of side hustling. And so when it jumped into the actual YouTube channel and everything, that was free. As I looked on everything, when starting a YouTube channel, was like, don't go out and buy a whole bunch of equipment. Use what you have at your disposal. So what's at all of our disposal? We got cell phones. Usually all of us have some type of Mac or computer, laptop. I use everything free. Everything was low budget. I didn't do or buy a whole bunch of stuff that first year. It was just trying to grow and put out content with the video. And as I say, after that first year of the channel getting monetized, it jumped to the actual t-shirt and hoodie brand. And that is very, again, I asked a couple of people of how they did it, but you'll hear people on Instagram and Facebook, TikTok saying you can start a t-shirt business with like $100. And it really is true if you're outsourcing. I didn't outsource. I'm actually outsourcing now, but everything I initially printed was all in-house. So I did spend a little bit of money there initially, but if you're starting a t-shirt business, all you need is a Shopify website that you could start at $35 a month, and then you can outsource, which pretty much means you just got to come up with a design, and you can have a company send everything out where people order from you. And that's kind of where I'm at today instead of doing everything in house. But the reason why I did everything in house, as I told y'all, remember, I was just like coming from that bankruptcy, I was really hands on and wanted to know how everything worked. So I wanted to know like some of the challenges of pressing shirts and creating a logo and shipping things out. I wanted to know all the back end of it. So that's again for me now how I approach things. I always want to know the back end of it, and that's just how I did it.
Okay. Another question came in. How'd you find your VA and what should a typical cost for one be?
um, Online, php.com. I believe that's the site for VA. Another community member had mentioned them. And then so I rolled my VA into my current budget. My current budget for the cleaning business, I try to keep it under $2,000. So 1,500 is like my sweet spot. And that's for everything for my cleaning business. That is the website, marketing, my insurance, anything dealing with the cleaning business. And marketing obviously is a big piece of that. The marketing dollars that goes for my Facebook ads, my Google ads, leads, all of that. And so I was wasting money on Yelp and Thumbtack. And so I just eliminated those from my budget. And I was able to afford my VA. My VA is under $400 a month. So I was able to afford her. The beauty of hiring a VA from the Philippines is that they're very reliable. They have a good work ethic, and they have more people than jobs. So they're used to working with American businesses, and our dollar just is a heavy, in other countries. So that's why I was able to afford her and just add her into the budget that I currently have. And the hope is to extend that and just to keep growing with her.
Okay. Samantha said, shout out to Samantha too. Did you start out as a CPA or did that come after you started?
Nope. Everything, as I mentioned, is me learning by myself first. So I got QuickBooks, which that is a lot of what people mention through our course. Through our course, you mentioned like finding other. I forgot what y'all mentioned, but Gusto was one of them as well in terms of paying your contractors and sending out your 1099. I actually didn't like Gusto because they at the beginning of this year they went up on their pricing. So as we entered into 2023, I merged everything into QuickBooks. QuickBooks allows me to track all of my spending for the business, for all of my businesses actually. And it also it has an app where I can track even mileage if I'm doing stuff, which I love that. I can upload receipts if I buy stuff for the business all through QuickBooks on my phone and work on the desktop. It allows me to pay my contractors, and it pays the contractors within 24 hours. So it's no lag time with them getting paid. And I process payment every Wednesday and Friday. So when the jobs come through and it hits my account, it's going out to the contractors. So for me, it was all finding something that worked well with everything. In terms of the CPA piece, my CPA or my tax professional, I tap into her. I tap into her about quarterly, and she really helps me at the end of the year more than anything. But I'm growing with her. So I could have her do everything. I could have her do payroll if I wanted to. I could have her check the books every month to make sure like everything is balanced correctly. But I can't afford her for that just yet. And for me, the business is small enough where, yeah, I hate having to run receipts and clip them and all that stuff. But I like learning about the business, learning about the back end of it. So I track all my expenses. I pay my contractors. She could do all that. Again, that's why I kind of create that SOP of having like Wednesdays and Saturdays of processing receipts, Wednesdays and Fridays of running payroll. Those are things that I am doing, and I'm looking at my QuickBooks system myself to understand what's going in and going out of my business. So a lot of it you can do yourself. It's just, being looking at YouTube videos, looking at other videos, and being diligent to say, I'm going to learn this if I don't know it. And it's like, again, I ask my kind of a lot of questions, and she's pretty good. She don't charge me for asking her a question here or there, but I'm sure if I was asking her questions like, weekly, she'd be like, okay, we got to revisit this.
Revisit the pricing.
Put you on the payroll because you pretty much are consulting with me every week. So yeah, it hasn't gotten that big as well. So yeah, just self teaching myself and asking a lot of questions.
Okay. And it says, does the VA need to know your area? No, the VA's in Philippines. They don't know anything. I guarantee you about Shreveport. I can't even pronounce it. I went down there once. So I'm guaranteed they don't know anything about the area.
Nope, it's teaching her everything. So just showing her, even like as we're working from Baton Rouge, Shreveport. Like I showed her on a map. Like we jump on Google Meets all the time, which is pretty dope with technology. Technology just makes it crazy. Like she's working and we're chatting, and I'm like, okay, just jump on Google. Let's chat. And I like Google Meet even better than Zoom because Google Meet is free and it's like unlimited. So we'll jump on the Google Meet, we'll share our screens, and I'll show her things, or I'll create a video and just send it to her through Google Drive. But when we first started, I like showed her physically, like if we were driving, this is how far it would be from Shreveport to Baton Rouge, like showing her the distance and showing her like the different areas and getting her to understand. Like you have to check zip codes to see where is this client coming from. They come from Shreveport, they're coming from Baton Rouge. So all of that is just, again, learning and growing with your VA.
Yeah, don't let the geographic differences make you feel like this can't be done. We did the same thing. Our operations manager is in Jamaica, and we showed her a map of Dallas, and we said we service these areas. And it's like he said, technology allows you to hop on a phone and figure this out, or video call to figure this out together. So don't let the geographic differences make you feel like this is not possible. So what else? So you mentioned QuickBooks already, VA. Yeah, so I think we're good with the questions. Correy, I appreciate your time. We appreciate your time. Let the people know how they can find you, support you, your YouTube channel. And when we post this on YouTube, we'll make sure we have all your notes in there too. So
yeah, definitely. Obviously realmengetitdone.com is where all the merch is. For
Real Men Get It Done. Yes, we do. Yeah. And I got one of his sweatshirts, super comfortable, super chic. I can wear it with my Jordans because I got tons of Jordans. And so
yeah, I have several Instagrams, of course, but my main one is Correy Hammond. 2 R's, EY, CORREY, HAMMOND. I'm sure the coaches will be able to put that in, but that links to everything. It links to all my other socials. It links to my solo.to, which has everything. Some of the links I mentioned, like green light, it has my code for there. People are always asking me where I get my glasses from. It has a code to my glasses website. So if you want to be an affiliate and buy glasses through me, you can do that. It'll have the Real Men Get It Done website. It'll have the cleaning website. It'll have the Cleaning Business University referral link there. So if you want to sign up for the Cleaning Business University through the coaches, go through my link so that I can get dibs for it. It has everything on there.
If y'all buy Cleaning Business University and y'all decide not to use this link, let us know that you came through Correy, and we'll make sure he gets that too.
Yeah, but yeah, it has everything on there. So my Corey Hammond Instagram will link to everything that I have, the merch, my books, everything. Yeah.
Thank you, Corey, and shout outs to your pops, Dwayne. I saw your mom. He said the mom was there somewhere. So shout outs to the parents for raising an amazing man, gentleman, husband, father, and you just dropped tons of game. And this is why we do what we do. We talk about the cleaning business, which is a vehicle to get to where you want to be. But there's just so much more about us that that's out there. And this is one of those stories where it's not just about the cleaning business. It's about life. It's about husbands. It's about being a great dad. It's about entrepreneurship, family. So appreciate you, Corey, man. We'll talk soon.
Yes, sir. Thank you. And last thing I'll leave everybody with, again, if you are teetering on thinking about being a business owner, first of all, I would say do it. But as I said, start off small. So if maybe you can purchase the university, do that. It's going to help you out. But if not, you still things you can do to make sure that are ready sooner than later. I know tax time is coming. A lot of people's tax time came already, but that money could be used to buy the course. But even if not, start off small and make sure you're following good people who are doing what you want to do, so that you can get the game. Again, I follow the coaches for a long time and just soaked up the game. So that's free. Getting on their Instagram, getting on their YouTube. Find some type of coach. You're gonna either pay two ways as being a business owner. You're gonna pay in money or you're gonna pay in time. So if you got the money, you're gonna pay it. It's gonna help you expedite the process. If you don't have the money, you're gonna have the time, and take your time to learn the process. And you may be a little bit slower, but you can still get it done.
Appreciate you, Corey. And that route, we are out of here, guys.
Peace.
Peace.